person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube WyzGyz. How you doing, Conrad? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host, Wyman. We are joined today by Karl Stephan of Merry Boys fame. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. Good. How are you keeping?
Good. Thank you. I don't know why, but sometimes I don't know if it's the internet signal, but on my end, it looks like you're frozen. But every now and then, it snaps back to you, and then it's okay, and then it freezes again. Unless you're remaining perfectly still, of course.
I was like my lizard. It's my lizard mode. You know, like perfect conserving energy in the sun. Just every now and again, I see a fly move.
Exactly. All right. That makes sense, man. Oh my gosh! Holy cow! It's been so long since you were last here. Yeah, you've apparently been very busy since Merry Boys 1, huh?
Oh yeah, there's so much has happened since then. I mean, we fulfilled the book, and everybody was happy with that, from what I could tell. And it's just been doing the next one, and this is a much longer book. As I mentioned backstage, it's 70 odd pages. It's a lot. I mean, I did the pencils and everything before I launched the campaign, but just I find that when I do the inks, I tend to revise things, and I spend a lot of time getting it to the point where I really am happy with it before I move on with it. And it just takes a lot of time. It's labor intensive. I wish I had an inker. I wish I had a competent inker. That'd be great. A tracer. It's not really tracing. It's hard work. Jeez.
Well, it's but I mean, yeah. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that, sorry, I think there is a slight delay, and I think it's probably on my side. I'm using a different setup today. No, I was just going to say that yeah, there is something to working digitally, I guess. You know, you can, as you draw, you just you can ink at the same time, and you save a lot of time that way. You know, and when it's just that whole commitment thing. Like once you've laid it down, you know, you've basically either ruined it and you've got to stick another piece of paper on top of what you've done and redo it, you know, or just live with the mistake and keep rolling, and hopefully you can recover it. But that's, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. I wanted to take a moment to welcome American Comics Company. Hail, chat. Thumbs up around. Welcome, Carol's Cookies. Hello.
Hello, Carol.
Statistical Zero. How's it going? Statu is here. Good to have you all. Welcome. Yeah, so Merry Boys came out. It apparently became quite a success. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was your first project, wasn't it?
That was the first crowdfunded project, yeah.
Yeah, first crowdfunded project. What was it like with, you know, going through that campaign, you know, creating an Indiegogo for the first time? You did all the fulfillment yourself at home, right?
Oh, yeah. Packing 570 packages. It separates the men from the boys. You know, it's all those things that, you know, if you had a publisher, then I would take care of all that. But on the other hand, having a publisher has got its own downsides. So, no, it was fine. It's good. I'm really happy it turned out the way it did. And yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have jumped on this one right away. You know, it's very fulfilling.
Oh, nice. And roughly, actually, since it's been some time since you were last on the show, if you don't mind, oh, there you are. You're moving again. uh, if you, I'd love for you if you'd kind of revisit your quote unquote origin story. What kinds of things were you into when you were a kid, whether it be toys, action figures, movies, comics, cartoons, and what were the major milestones in your life and career that led you down this path to become an independent creator in the crowdfunding scene?
Right. So I live in the UK. I'm originally from South Africa. So a lot of people will, say he's not British, but I'm doing a very British comic book, and the reason for that is I think because of British culture and British comic books specifically. There's a very rich heritage here of good comic books that goes back, decades and decades. It's almost as old as the American comic book scene. I grew up reading things like 2000 AD. With Judge Dredd, Strontium Dog, Rogue Trooper, that sort of thing. Also really love Mad Magazine. And I think a lot of that shows up in my work, I think, with ink wash, the more cartooniness, the really sort of, I don't know, it turned me into a very cynical kid, because you read Mad Magazine and you'd learn to analyze the world through that. Don't trust everything you read, kids, I think it was quite valuable to have at that age. I don't think there's anything similar now. I'm not sure. I mean, for kids, for 12-year-olds, just learning to interpret the world. Like, hey, don't take everything at face value. Don't trust big companies. Don't trust the news. Don't trust anybody. That sort of thing. But I think obviously, you grow out of the Mad Magazine humor, but the art stuff, I still maintain some of the best comic book art ever produced in the US is in between the pages of Mad Magazine. Had the best people, I think. EC Comics. I was lucky. Like in the 90s, there was a reprint run of all the old 1950s EC comics, Tales from the Crypt, Haunt of Fear, Vault of Horror, and the sci-fi ones, Weird Science. And it was like, what they did was, I don't know, I think there was a big distributor in South Africa who just bought up a lot of these titles, and they sold them for next to nothing to convenience stores. So I just walked into my convenience store one day, and there were just these piled stacks and stacks of these reprinted EC comics, which I'd heard about before on these old documentaries about horror comics and things. And but there's no way of getting any of these because they've been out of print, for decades, and getting those collected Russ Cochran volumes was practically impossible, especially for a kid. It's just there's no way you're going to get it. Then I just saw all these, so I just bought them up. I just as many as I could afford, and took them home, and they were just amazingly influential. I love Jack Davis, Wally Wood, just the Graham Ingalls. These guys, amazing artists, absolutely amazing. Comic book wise, I mean, I also love the Ninja Turtles, which kind of shows up in my work. It's got that same sort of formula going.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, more for the idea, more for the jam, than for the artistic, for the art. Because I mean, they were very much indie comic book artists. I recently bought a collection of the first 6 issues, and it is really rough for that time. It is, but what carried it was that extremely strong idea, and the passion that they had for it. Mm-hmm. It's just such a snappy idea. It was great. It reinvigorated my interest in pop culture and stuff at the time.
Yeah, definitely.
What else? There's a lot of stuff. There really is a lot. I'll read. Oh, well, I have. I don't have time anymore. But I grew up with Asterix. Big fan of Asterix. Yeah. That was huge in SA. I think it was huge everywhere.
Yeah, when I studied French in high school, and that's one of the things I got exposed to.
Righty. Okay. Yeah. No, I didn't. Yeah. I guess yes, it's a medium. I guess I never knew they were French when I was a kid. I was like when you grow up in another country, it's like, you think that you're gonna where does this all get made, and then you realize none of it is within your own country. It's somewhere else. Like, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, quite literally, close to a battle school in the middle of the Northern Cape. Like South Africa's got, I think it was one of the first dedicated military battle schools in the world.
A battle school.
A battle school, as in tanks, aircraft.
Oh wow!
Like that, doing maneuvers and things. So, and it was literally in the middle of the bush. And my father was contracted to work on building structures and things for the base.
Oh.
He's a civil engineer, and so it was only our street had houses. It was like one street of these prefabricated houses where they would just have you'd have like a cement base, and then everything else was prefabricated. So my earliest memories were like just you've got your house outside of the house is just, as far as the eye can see, it's just bushveld, and you wouldn't go walking because it'll be scorpions and snakes and shit. And God knows what other animals lurking out there in the bush. And then on the other side would be tanks, personnel carriers, aircraft, and you'd often hear, well, you'd see it first, but you'd see this jet breaking the sound barrier over your house.
Oh my gosh!
Sonic boom. And as a little kid, this was amazing. It was absolutely wonderful.
Oh my gosh! Does the sonic boom actually feel like heavy pressure on your ears?
I bet. I remember a bit. It's like you do hear this. It's an explosion.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember it being like sort of. I can't remember.
Welcome, LDG. Looking around, the being so close to one of those training bases, is that basically like where one of the South American military's training facilities was? I mean, did you actually attend there? Did you go there?
No, I was too young. I was a kid.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I was a little kid, and I missed the whole conscription thing. It was phased out just as I was, getting into high school. So missed the whole thing. Well, I think it would have been fun. Joining the military. Makes a man out of you.
There you go. So when did you? How young were you when you moved to UK?
I was 25. Yeah.
Okay. Did your whole family move all at once?
No, it was just me.
Oh,
just
all right.
Me. Yeah, I came here on my own, and met my wife, and never left. Yeah.
What drew you to UK? I mean, did you have like a really good, promising job opportunity out there?
No. Just what happened was the UK had a visa scheme for Commonwealth citizens, so people from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand. If they wanted to come do a working holiday for 2 years, they could do it. They could just get a visa and just come do some work and bugger off back home once they're done. This was to prop up the services industry. So they were hoping people would get low-paying sort of jobs, do a bit of traveling, do a bit of working, and that was the exchange. But I never went back because I just love the country. I love England. I think England's amazing. All my favorite things come from England.
Cool.
And once I met my wife, it was just a case of I could drag her back to South Africa, but she's very close to her family. She's very, so I thought, you can't do that.
Oh yeah, I can relate. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how she'd feel about living in the bush.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't all in the bush, but
Okay.
yeah, it's just the beginning.
Well, oh, go ahead.
No, I've taken her back to SA, but she was very nervous the whole way through, which I don't understand. I think
Oh,
it's
really?
I think it's all the bars on the windows, and she gets very jumpy when people are, well, at night she gets very paranoid. I think it's all the horror stories I told her about it, which.
Nice job. Nice job preparing her.
Yeah. And the heat. I mean, she's Polish, so the heat really got to her. It's almost like the cold got to me when we went to Poland.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like -10. They go shopping. I'm like, my eyeballs are frozen in my skull. I can't do it.
-10. Oh, man. Well, how hot would it get down there in South Africa?
Hot. It's about 40 degrees sometimes. Depends on where you go. I've got a friend who's got a farm. It's located in a depression zone right next to a mountain range, and they recorded 55 degrees Celsius in the shade one summer. Don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but I would imagine it's.
I think you had 27 degrees, if I'm not mistaken.
55 degrees Celsius Fahrenheit.
Huh. I don't have a converter in front of me. I suppose I could look one up, but you said 55 degrees Celsius?
Celsius is 131 degrees Fahrenheit.
131?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's hot.
It gets hot in Africa. Very
well,
hot.
I imagine so, especially with it being so much closer to the equator.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends on it all depends. There's a variety of things. I mean, along the coast, it doesn't get very hot. Not extremely hot. It can get 40 degrees, which isn't extremely hot. But because you have the moderating effect of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
But when you move away from the ocean and you're stuck in a depression zone, a low pressure zone, then it can get extremely hot.
One convenient location, Africa.
Well, right now, with Ukraine being invaded, it's far away from that action.
And I thought Los Angeles was hot. When I was visiting down there in California, we were looking at 110 degrees in what they call a dry heat, as opposed to, I guess, a humid heat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sometimes dry heat's a bit better because it doesn't stick to you,
Yeah.
It's like, because the humidity makes it impossible for the heat to escape your body. It can't translate, you can't get rid of it.
I absolutely hate when my clothes start sticking to me. American Comics says, appears Danny's channel is more competitive than mine. Great show this morning, Cookies. Thanks. I try.
Is that Bancroft's Danny?
I don't know. I'm familiar with one Danny, but he's like, I guess, associated with the Crack Pack.
Danny. Danny. Yeah, the Crack Pack Danny. Yeah. Mike Bancroft explained to me who Danny was a while back when it wasn't his show.
Gotcha. Thanks for being here, guys. And I mean that's heat. Of course, I guess the human body just adapts as needed, and if you've been there long enough, then it feels like nothing. You just acclimate to it.
It's like that. I mean, when I came to the UK, people thought I was weird because I walked around without any shoes on sometimes, and that's just like a cultural no-no over here, because weirdly too, people like to spit in the street in the UK, which I did not realize. Whereas in South Africa, not really. It doesn't really happen. So there was that. But
well, in Africa, were you like in countryside most of the time, or did you have a lot of city infrastructure?
Oh, it's mostly in the suburbs that I spend most of my time in.
Okay.
Yeah. like in the bush at the beginning, and then moved to the suburbs along the coast. Those were great times, you know.
And in the UK, spinning in the streets, is that like some kind of cultural thing?
Yeah. Well, it's a city thing. It's not so much where I live now, but in London, geez, massively.
What is the draw? I mean, what's the story behind it?
I don't know. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. It's like a way of communication for some people. I don't understand it. I thought it was perfectly disgusting. But
So, do you and your wife get into it and see who hawks the biggest loogies?
No.
Check this out, honey.
I think with COVID, though, people have become a bit more conscientious. Probably got told a few times with, you're spreading germs, you know.
They still try and spit in the streets, but instead they spit inside their mask.
Yeah, exactly. With those shields in front of their faces.
Just slowly drips off the shield.
Yeah, but you know what? Our lockdown stuff is a thing of the past now. Essentially, you know, all the restrictions are gone.
Yeah, I heard you guys finally got them lifted. Thank goodness for that. Jeez.
Which is weird because all around us, you know, Germany, France, all these places, they're still quite militant about it. I thought the Nanny State here would be the last one to do that, but no.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, and Canada is another bloody story right there. He's Justin Trudeau's acting like his dad.
Man, they don't know when to stop. Good golly.
It's absolutely mad. Absolutely crazy.
Controversial figure, that Danny. Yes, there's a post on Twitter. The channel is competitive for that race to 1,000. Oh, right. Yeah. I guess it's back. I was asking them when they were going to return to give the latest numbers. I'm slowly creeping up. She says hi back. Yvette says hi back. I love peeking in the back. Nice. Yeah. So remember from yesterday, people can be jerks. Oh, shucks. Yeah. So, oh man. Yeah. Like talking about temperatures. Like I'm originally from what's called the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yep.
And you know, of course, San Francisco being right next to the Pacific Ocean, it gets cold and foggy. And then you go inland more, and as you go inland, it tends to get warmer, right? But then you have the bay, which is a body of water. And then to the east of that, you got more inland area. So I was on the inland area, so it didn't get as hot as it could have because we had the moisture from the bay coming over to us. So imagine being in roughly, I don't know the Celsius equivalent, but it's about low to high 70s almost year round.
Right. Wow. Okay. So it's about 26, 27 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. No.
Right. That's not too bad. Yeah. I mean, that's quite moderate, right?
Yep. Not most of the time, not too hot and not too cold, and no snow. The closest we got to snow was hail. You know, small little balls about the size of peas, maybe.
Right.
I guess worst case scenario, they were about the size of marbles. No, I would say peas.
Not like snake eggs and.
Yeah, snake eggs. Welcome, Dale. Mary Boys is one of my favorite books. Looking forward to BEEFHEADS.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. I'm looking forward to getting it done. Jeez. Like I was saying behind before the show started, it's just I'm not doing a book as long as this one again.
Yeah, so I was saying instead of a 70-page book, you're going to go probably a 68-page.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I just I think it needs to be. I need to pace myself. But I think next time, whatever I do, I want the thing to be done before I launch. So the pressure is not. Yeah.
That seems to be a growing trend in the community of crowdfunding creators, because it's like, if you can get most or all the book done before launch, then it takes off so much pressure. It allows you to spend more time relaxing and promoting your campaign. Go on the different channels, do the rounds.
I mean, I can understand why people, who've got to pay, like a first-time writer who has to shell out for an artist. I can understand why they wouldn't want to, expend all the money before they do that, before they, have done the campaign and see if people are actually interested in supporting it. But I don't really have an excuse. Yeah, I don't really have an excuse. But my thinking is basically like, while I'm busy doing it, and people are invested in following the progress of it. That's what I was thinking.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I'm feeling like a bit of pressure because I've said it'll be done by this time, and now I've got to deliver. That's all, which I will. But it's just.
It may be early in the process, but have you been keeping an eye on all that activity going on with publishers and paper shortages and whatnot, and trying to figure out whether you might have to adjust the projections on fulfillment?
It's a bit early. I don't think that's an issue. I know that some people have on this side of the pond I haven't had any issues with printing as such. So I don't know if it's going to spill over onto our side or not. But I'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
When you're talking about speaking of page counts, do you have an idea ahead of time on how long you're planning on making the book, or is it all really freeform and nebulous where you go, all right, let me script and draw the story and see where it ends up, and then determine whether or not I need to tighten it up or expand in some areas of the story to make it clear?
No. The actual story is a cast in stone before I start drawing it. Like I'll do I'll do a basic script. Then a lot of the scripting is contained in the thumbnail stage, where I will set out exactly how long it's supposed to be. The reason there's a bit of a variable is because I'm still deciding how much fan art I'm going to be including on it. Because you've got so many page signatures, you have to, if you have one page more than which we're thinking, because there's extra fan art or an extra piece of art that you wanted to put in there, it's going to push you over into the next into another 3 pages, which you have to fill up because of the signatures. The signatures have got to make sense for the printing. So that's why there's a variable, but there's no variable on the actual page count for the pages. Because that's got to work. That's got to be quite well for me anyway. I think you get people who can shoot from the hip, but I like to. I did one book. My very first graphic novel that I did was almost like a shoot from the hip sort of exercise, and I wouldn't want to do that again. I like to plan it out properly.
Nice. Yeah. So that must mean you have a whole load of fan art then, which is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. It rolls in. I've got loads. It's just how I'm gonna fit it into the book. That's the question.
Well, if you do run into a case where you have like one extra piece that that results in having now 3 pages to account for, 3 new pages to account for. Have you considered like throwing in some maybe concept art or sketches or?
There's a separate book that I'm doing for that.
All right.
Yeah, there's a booklet, The Making of BEEFHEADS, because I've got a lot of concept sketches, and I've obviously got all the thumbnails that I've made. Each page has been thumbnailed out, and so it's almost going to be like a little guide on my thought process for the comic, explaining some cultural references, explaining, just a lot of show and tell about what was going on, because I did something similar with the last campaign, and people really liked that. So I thought, yeah, I could do that again. Otherwise, it'll just go in the bin or wherever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, or you could offer it as like tiers, for those interested in original art.
Yeah, I mean, people want that. I mean, like the last time somebody contacted me and said, like, are you selling those? Because I did some like model sheets for some of the characters. Like how tall they are in relation to head size, and things like that. Said, what are you doing with those? I said, nothing. And he wanted them. I'm like, okay, you can have them, because I scanned them in anyway, and they're on my computer, so I don't know where else.
Yeah, I mean, original art, that kind of stuff is stuff I'm into as well. So I mean, I just don't toss it, sell it, auction it, something, so the fan base can enjoy it.
What a lot of people are telling me, like, so why don't you do NFTs with some of your stuff?
Oh my gosh,
I don't know if I've been looking into the whole, because it's tied into Bitcoin and blockchain, and yeah, I don't know. I don't see if something doesn't sound appealing for me, then I don't see how it's going to sound appealing for somebody else. That's what, like, an NFT is literally just I don't know if you've bought NFTs and if you can give me more insight on this, but it's literally you become associated with a URL where that picture is posted on an official URL, right?
You probably know more than I do. I tend to be suspicious of cryptocurrency as a whole. I mean, all I've really done is buy Dogecoin for the fun of it, and because it's so low. Because the more and more we go to a cashless society, the more control it gives big government, and when they have control over your ability, like what Canada's dealing with, they're seizing their people's truck drivers' accounts.
Yeah.
If they have that much ability to do willy-nilly at their very whim, then what's to stop them from doing the same with crypto? It's even easier to not only rip you off digitally, or but also use it as a means of control, just like what they're doing with Vax passports.
Vax, yeah, fuck the whole Vax passports thing is a lot of nonsense. It's just an extra. They never get the problem. It's like this. I keep telling people it's synonymous with those terror laws they brought in while we had the whole post 9/11 era. All the spying laws, Patriot Act. We had something similar in the UK, and a lot of those powers are still there. They're just there regardless now, and they get used for all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And connected to it in everything. It's almost this whole thing about not being allowed to take liquids onto flats because there was a certain kind of liquid explosive that people could have carried onto planes, and they just got used to banning people taking liquids onto flights now. And it's obviously great for your no customs area before you get back onto the plane, because now you've got an incentive to buy your alcohol and your perfumes and things there from them, rather than buy it elsewhere and take it onto the flight because you're not allowed to. And it's going to be the same thing with the vax stuff. Now there are a lot of people who have made a lot of money from producing these rapid testing kits you know, that have to be used at airports from people who manufacture these validation systems, and that's an income stream they're not going to want to get rid of.
Yes.
And the governments also get high on power that these things afford them. They're not going to just give them up again. That's the problem, you know.
Yeah, once they taste another level of power and control, they're not going to want to let go of it.
Yeah, I mean, with crypto, I like the fact that it's decentralized in a sense. So you're not going to have one government saying, "Okay, we're freezing this currency because we've got control. We control the banks in our jurisdiction. We control the currency ourselves because we confirm that the currency is valid." You know, I mean, because all banknotes are just IOUs from the government saying, "Yeah, this is good money. It represents what we've got here." Yeah, you know, it's like an IOU from the government.
Right.
Crypto is awesome because it's an IOU from millions of users. That, you know, every transaction is written down on a separate computer. There's a ledger that validates every single transaction. So you can't, you know, just willy-nilly go and steal your money. It just doesn't work as easily like that. But the problem is, though, is that it is massively costly to maintain this decentralized system. You know, it's you take all these resources. I mean, I think to maintain just Bitcoin requires the same amount of electricity as it takes to run Sweden. You know, all that processing power, playing those lottos to gain more Bitcoins, all the processing power it takes to validate the hash, to enable the transactions and maintain the currency.
Mm-hmm.
It's massively wasteful. It's just it feels almost like you're taking a real piece of something that has value. You're taking electricity that people use. That anybody said, you know, everybody can use electricity. It's a good thing for you to have and use. It's going to function, and wasting it on a token.
Yeah,
Trade for something else, which makes no sense to me. It's
that's true. I mean, maybe they could find a way to link it to, you know, instead of taking electricity from, you know, general population, you know, just link it somehow to all the mansions that all the politicians own.
yeah.
And then you take that and apply it towards that which is needed for crypto and stuff. And I don't get how various backgrounds people don't get that. That might be regarding the other topic about the race to 1,000.
What is the race to 1,000?
If it's the same one I'm thinking of, so our tangible gold and precious metals.
Yeah, the only value that those things have is that they're hard to get. That's true. There's also a construct around the value of gold and precious metals. I totally agree. Gold has got almost no utility. You can use it in computers as a conductor, fillings in your teeth because it doesn't corrode. And a few limits, and jewelry. It's nice jewelry because it's easy to. It's a soft metal, so you can sculpt it very easily. So yeah, no, gold has got very limited, but it's very hard to mine at the same time and convert the ore into gold. So that's why it's deemed to have value. It's true. I would think that, you know, if you really wanted to have a currency, if there was some way you could actually package electricity into little things that resemble coins, and that electricity would say be enough to power a household for a month, that would be a true, useful, proper face value currency. You know. But batteries, Duracell batteries.
Oh man, you're giving them ideas. They're getting things from the battery business to the NFT business, or cryptocurrency business rather. It was the same as what I'm thinking of in terms of the race to 1,000. It's a kind of a friendly competition to keep track of who's close to, you know, which of us YouTubers is close to hitting 1,000 subs.
All right.
So, because, you know, that's I guess, the end goal to attempt to try and earn money, become monetized.
Oh yeah. Probably Mark has schooled me on this stuff. He's hit his goal, and he's been monetized, and that's been a long road.
Yeah, he and Charlie's London are both monetized now, right?
Yeah, that's it. Good.
Hey, welcome, Bone. Good morning. Dropping a like from work. Thank you.
Awesome.
Coffee, thumbs up. Nice.
Yeah, with the whole YouTube thing, I think I've got 119 followers, like on YouTube now. But I haven't really been paying attention to the channel, which is really bad. It's just something that I've always said I was going to pick up, and I never did. But I'm thinking, I'm rotten at YouTube though. I'm really bad at it. What I want to do, I mean, there are different ways of getting yourself out there, and I think YouTube is only one of those ways.
Right.
Like one of the biggest crowdfund, and they happen to come from the same city as me. One of the biggest crowdfunders for, it's not really comics. It's by comic book creators, but they do this book called How to Think While You Draw. And they're very popular. Yeah, it's by the Lorenzo brothers. Yeah, that's it. They're comic book creators, but they did these awesome books. And all they don't have a YouTube or anything like that. They've got a website, and they've got these mini bite-sized tutorials that they publish on Twitter. People find them useful, and they have amassed, you know, a huge following from that. And I think they raised close to $1 million on their book.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. They've been massively successful. And I think the key is literally just, you know, do something that people find appealing. I know it's easier than what it sounds, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a channel. It can literally be anything, and tying that to whatever you're doing. And I'm thinking what I should be doing is single panel cartoons, really, like the old newspaper strips, just like small bite-sized comic books, not comics, but cartoons.
Bite-sized cartoons.
Yeah, I mean, almost like the web comic thing, but not these long structured stories, but just have like, because I love single panel cartoons. I did some on the back of the first Merry Boys book, and I really enjoyed doing those. And I was thinking, how cool would it be just to kind of do them like almost for promotion, and do them fairly regularly. Yeah.
Interesting. By the way, what is your YouTube channel again?
It's just called Proper Comics.
Oh, all right, that makes sense. Because I was searching for Karl Stephan, I was looking for Merry Boys. There it is. Let me see. Beep, 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 beep.
What is stats? I'm well on my way with my Inactive Channel. I think I am at like 47 subs. One of these days I'm going to try for more. It's going to be huge. Yeah, that's how I feel, Stat. That's something I feel. It's been creeping up somehow. I don't know how. I think it's mostly Monica's doing, not mine, even though she hasn't been posting, but she's been advertising it.
Oh yeah, she's doing a great job. Yeah, so there's Carl's YouTube. Check it out.
Thank you.
Sub to it now. Oh wait.
Tell me, Wyman, do you like Count Dankula?
That sounds familiar. Where do I know that?
He's a Scottish guy who does. He's basically a comedian, but he does all sorts of videos on politics, internet memes, and he does this series called Mad Lads, where he basically just does a show about somebody who's done something. It's like a famous person in history who does crazy stuff. Like he did one on Vlad the Impaler, for example, or the guy who did who built like a tank out of a tractor and demolished an entire town. Things like
Oh,
that.
I think I saw that video.
Yeah,
That was kind of going viral, wasn't it?
yeah.
Where he got in the
Killdozer.
tank and started smashing stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting content that isn't necessarily tied to comic books, but I don't know, something like you got to like whatever it is, you know, you got to find whatever it is that that people want to see that you can do that what you're also into. That's the big key. And for me, I'm a fairly boring guy into boring stuff. Like I like comic books, which are it is niche. Most people just look at it and go, "Yeah, you man child, you know, you weirdo." Yeah. You gotta turn it into something more palatable, I guess, somehow.
So what was it about the, getting in the tank and smashing stuff up? What was his purpose? I mean, was it all for laughs, or did he have a reason for it? I thought it had something to do with property lines, or
Yeah, something like that. He had some problem with the council. Something like that. Some domestic problem with whoever. Completely, yeah. Complete overreaction to whatever the problem was, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right. He did some stuff that got yoked, though.
Oh, what Count Dankula? Oh, yeah. He did that Nazi pug thing. He taught his girlfriend's pug to do a Sig Heil to whenever he showed him Hitler, and that got him into massive trouble. That got him. He went to court. He got a criminal charge because of that. And then
say that again. What happened?
He's famous for teaching his girlfriend's pug. He was playing a prank on his girlfriend, so he wanted to teach her pug just to behave really like in a very vile, shocking sort of way. So
dog?
Yeah, the dog, like a little
really?
pug. Yeah. So he trained the pug whenever I don't know I think he said whenever he trained it whenever he said Sig Heil or something, the pug would like raise its paw like that.
Oh shit!
and this got him charged. There was a legal charge over that.
Dang, really?
Yeah, he goes there's a criminal charge that he got found guilty and had to pay £800 and everything. Over this stupid thing. It's obviously a joke. I mean, he did a follow-up video of where they had another pug, which happens to be pitch black. So he taught this pug to raise its paw whenever he saw a picture of Farrakhan or Jesse Jackson, like a BLM pug, to kind of try and make up for the Hitler one.
Oh man, that's pretty fat.
It's just comedy. At the end of the day, it's comedy, and doing that, having that sort of a reaction to a joke that's in questionable taste. It's in questionable taste. It's not. It's still just a bloody joke.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to get recruited to cause. You know what I mean? It's just stupid.
That's hilarious. People just want something to be offended by.
Yeah, that's what people want.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to destroy all forms of comedy.
It's sad. It's like this Jimmy Carr thing quite recently on Netflix, where he also told a really off-color joke about Romanian gypsies or something to that effect. And they also, now that once there's talk about enacting legislation to stop comedians making really salty jokes.
Oh, jeez.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because, I mean, you pay to go to a comedy show.
Yeah.
Right? And if you know, like Jimmy Carr's got a reputation for being quite rough. He doesn't. He's really not to everybody's taste. He really goes as hard in as he can for shock value. It's shock comedy. But it's almost the same as saying, okay, we're going to ban all the really spicy curry because some people,
can't eat.
Yeah, because some people will still bloody go and order it and still eat it, despite knowing that they don't like that. And these people need to be protected from their own poor decision-making skills.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't get it.
We're only looking out for your stomachs, man.
Yeah.
We care about you. Oh my God. So with Mayor Boy's Beefheads being worked on, are there any particular things that you learned from doing and fulfilling the first campaign that you're definitely wanting to apply towards this one?
For the first, I think I got quite lucky. There's I'm going to mess around with printing formats a little bit. It's going to be the same size as the previous comic. Cool. But I think I'll try. I'm going to try different kind of paper this time around. Packing it. I mean, people were telling me you should use Gemini mailers for it. But the problem is that with the way our postage prices are set up, everything has got to fit within a certain bracket of size, of length and thickness and all that in order to qualify for a certain postage rate. And Gemini mailers, unfortunately, just tips it over, and it'll cost an additional £5 in postage.
Ooh.
For that.
Wow.
So I'm just going to use the same mailers as we used last time, because I mean, out of 570 packages that went out, I think we had 5 people who had problems, but that was with the postman basically being an asshole, folding it in half and sticking it in sideways through the mailbox.
Yeah, I don't understand their thinking. If you got something like a flat box and it's rigid, what compels you to want to fold that in half?
It's just, but it's like do not bend. We put the package stiffeners inside, so it's really hard to bend anyway. Right. But if people if it's damaged, send us a photo. We will replace it. That's it. Simple as we've got insurance on that, so no issues.
Yep.
I mean, you'll get your comic book issues, but no issues with replacing it.
Nothing wrong with that. My book's got here perfectly fine. So did mine. Yeah. I've been pretty fortunate with all my backings. I've had very few issues. And that even goes, that's regardless of whether it was done through using Gemini mailers versus media mail versus using, something totally different, the issues I tend to get are the person packing it and fulfilling it aren't like using sufficient packing material, or they're not like protecting the corners or edges.
Yeah.
And like if they include what you guys call badges, and we call pins and buttons.
Yeah. And
you have that facing your book, then you have this, or your posters, then you have an impression.
Yes.
And
that
tears.
That's what stopped me from using those pins, because I was thinking about that, and I just, without using a Gemini mailer, I didn't think there was any way I could have stopped it, resting against the comic. So I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. Whereas, embroidered patch is fine, obviously. That's not going to do anything.
Yeah, patches, stickers, bookmarks, they're nice and flat. If you did use a badge, then I suppose you could turn it upside down so that the round, flat portion is facing the book, but then there's also, I guess, a chance of having a little round depression.
Yeah.
I've seen some rather clever, alternatives. And like one person even poked the pin or badge through the cardboard flap of the Gemini mailer. Facing out. You just still have to protect the surface between the book and the back side of the pin. It's
got blood, postman's blood on it as an extra.
Gemini mailers became a thing because Meyer started with them, and it became the trend. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah.
I think they're good, mind you. I think that they do a really good job, and they're easy to pack. It's just, over here in the UK, they're hard to get. They're hard to get. You buy them at a premium, and our postal system isn't geared towards them.
Yeah, and let me see. What I do like about them, some of the competition does something similar, but on the ends of the books, they have like a crumple zone. So that usually catches the bulk of the damage.
Yeah.
And it's part of why I got had such a success rate in terms of what I've received. And then usually when I get stuff via media mail, half the time it's in like small little boxes and stuff. So, those are harder to get damaged. Because it's not like you're going to fold a small box, right?
Yeah, well, you get people who will try.
Yeah, but then at the same time with media mail, for those that do come in like a flat package, the usual, the thing people don't like about media mail is that the postal service has the option of opening up the package.
All right.
Checking to see to make sure it meets the guidelines of media mail, because you're not supposed to have any advertisements. And traditional comics, they used to have ad pages, and
X-ray specs and
yeah,
guides on how to build big muscles and stuff like that. Yeah.
And Hostess fruit pies.
Yeah.
And then if they decided to pick your package out of the batch and open it and check it, then they might potentially screen through some of your others, and then you'll have a delay, or they might even send it back to you, not deliver it after all. For sure they are good, but at times I have noticed creators get knocked for not having them, and that I don't agree with. I agree with you, Stato. You shouldn't be dinged for that, for not using a Gemini.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you're not gonna. Hey, Lorenzo.
Welcome, Lorenzo. Steve Sack. Hail, chat and panel.
It's like you got to take into at the end of the day, that the mailer isn't going to go into your collection. It's literally just a little vessel. It's the Moses basket delivering your little treasure to you through the postal system. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not picky at all from how I receive it. As long as it comes, I get my comics in good nick.
You know what's interesting? When I receive stuff from the UK, it arrives in what looks like a cardboard backing that you might use to stiffen a comic book. Put in the comic book bag.
Yep.
And then it's got like this paper wrapped around and sealed around it.
Right.
And none of those ever seem to get damaged, for the most part. And it's an interesting type of package too, because I would think that the mail service would have a tendency to want to bend those instead.
Well, I got this thing that I put in with every. So what my comics will have, the usual white backing board, right? That you put into a plastic sleeve with the comic book. And then, in addition to putting this into a corrugated package, corrugated is going to be harder than normal anyway. This is a what is this? How many? It's a 2-ply piece of cardboard that's difficult to bend in any direction. So that's an extra bit of protection that you put in there.
Nice.
Yeah, to avoid opportunistic postal staff with problems at home. If you want to take it out on your stuff.
Are you inserting one of those in there or two?
Just one. Just
Okay.
one, because it's all about how tightly you pack the package as well. You know, so if you already got 2 comics in there with their own backing boards in a corrugated mailer, that's already quite stiff. But what if you just put that in? That is just puts everything nice and tightly. So even if somebody had to hurl it across the room, they're not going to move. It's more about filling up that package so that it doesn't, doesn't jolt, because that's what damages your corners.
Right. Yeah, the boomerang. Let's go ahead and, out of curiosity, I don't remember now, but you're in demand. When you went live, whose channel did you launch at?
That was Charlie's.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that was a good launch. It was a good launch stream.
Very
we're doing everything domestically, not everything, but a lot of CG UK has kind of like not become its own thing, but we do a lot on our own. Because the whole point in the beginning was literally, we're going to form CG UK because we're all in the same time zone. Because the sweet time, the best time for streaming in the US seems to be about 9 or 10 p.m. And that's about 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning for us. And if it's it's impossible. On a weekend, it's pretty much impossible for me too. So it's just not an option. One of those things.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, CG UK is doing a hell of a lot of cool things. Let's play the trailer here.
Oh yeah, please. I love that trailer. Mark 6 a.m. Comics did that.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, he did the title track.
Here we go. Never far from a bloodstained panel. Heading to the bar with my brothers holding hip to metal. I smell sinners and I swear I'm running out of cheeks. Father, forgive me, but my tolerance is getting weak. Should I flatten them out or should I take a shot? Bottoms up before I pile up some body parts. The devil's in the bottle, so I guzzle from a glass. With every sip, I feel like taking out the city's trash. A fit job for a quad around and dumpster babies. We cheat to death, it's only fair that we replenish Hades. But we can pray and repent and let God sort them. I'd rather make a profess and go to war on them. Verse 2, the perfect setup for the proper sequel. It's proper PC Comics, Mary Boys, there is no equal. Despite our mother's worst intentions, yeah, we walk the valley and cast a shadow with death, the wickedness surrounding. Just want to go to the tavern and pound a couple lagers. But now I'm to Peter.
That's cool.
It works, yeah. I'm already thinking of what to do for the next one, like what track, because a lot of people were saying, first of all, what Mark did, he did a rap review of the first Mary Boys series, the 2 comics that are released, and I love that a lot. I mean, I'm not a hip hop guy at all. Like I'm into metal, punk, goth, industrial, that sort of thing, but not hip hop. But he did such a good job on it that I was like, we gotta try something, for this new campaign. But I think for the next one, I'd like to do like a punk oi sort of backing track. So trying to find somebody to do that, because I know exactly what I want. I know exactly how it's supposed to sound, but I can't. I'm just not a musician.
Cool. Yeah, I like in this one how he added footage of gloved hand with a can of beer and lacing up the boots.
Yeah, that was actually my sister. My sister did the video. So
Really?
so Mark did the music, and then my sister's is somebody who works in Hollywood. So she can do stuff like that, and that's my hand going into a glove and pulling on the boots and.
Nice.
Yeah, so we just shot that in the living room, and she just edited it all together and whatever. I thought it worked quite well.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, it's a nice addition. You know, combining live action with the interiors of the book. That's pretty sweet.
Yes, loads of fun. And that's the whole point. You know, if you're having fun, then hopefully people watching will have fun as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mary Boy's movie when?
Oh, I'd love that. I swear, it would be. You know, I think, yeah, like it would work really well as a low budget sort of urban movie. You know, you wouldn't really you'd need minimal special effects. It could work quite well, I think, as a sort of a story done by maybe Terry Gilliam or the guy who did This Is England. I think it could really work, but yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah, I think it would definitely work with practical effects. You don't have to go super fancy. Yeah. Have you ever put any thought into who you would cast in the roles?
It would be kids with suffering from ectodermal dysplasia. So it will be one kid actually. They would, just cast him 4 times, I guess. You know?
Oh,
Yes. If there was like an actor, like a teen actor who wanted to do something like that, then yeah, that would be like the perfect sort of role.
oh my gosh.
And Father Parish, I mean, that would also just be some. Yeah, I that could. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of maybe like Billy Connolly, but I guess his health isn't all that good right now.
What do you think about the Hugh Laurie?
Hugh Laurie, maybe, maybe. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah, Hugh Laurie would be pretty good. He's lanky, he's crazy. Why not?
I think he's brilliant in that series House.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Blackadder?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Blackadder's good.
Yeah, completely different personality in Blackadder, but of course he's an actor. He can
Right.
He can adapt, which kind of fills you with confidence that whatever you're going to put Hugh Laurie in, he's going to play the part correctly.
Yes, agreed.
He can actually act. But he's got the look for it too. Yeah, it'll be somebody with a face like a hatchet. That's the look would have to be right. It'll be something with a craggy, well worn sort of face.
There you go. Status says, I'm ready to have this book in my collection, coupled with the first 2, Ailsa Dart, Charlie's London, and Phantom Volume 1. I got a decent CG UK collection going. They do great work.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, I can't wait to give you the book. I can't just get a thing. Do you want to see a page I'm working on?
Hell yeah. Always.
Yeah, no, I got loads of them. I just let's see here again from the camera. So there's one story where they go to a Comic-Con, so they're fighting a bunch of cosplayers, and I've got like my a bad guy who's cosplaying Batman and Robin, and
oh my gosh, they're fighting with the cosplayers.
Yeah, I just thought it would be the biggest FU to the mainstream publishers I could think of.
That's funny, but wouldn't it be a trip? Oh, hold on. This one looks a little clearer too. Adam West Batman.
Yeah, with the mustache.
Yeah.
Looks a little bit like Smokey and the Bandits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. That's funny.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
And those are on 11 by 17?
No, they're A3. So it's the same. It's exactly twice the size of the comics that you have.
Okay, all right.
So they just get reduced by half.
All righty. Yeah. But wouldn't that be a trip to actually participate in a fight? Cosplayers against cosplayers.
Yes.
I mean, as a cosplayer, your goal is to kind of impersonate the character you're being to, convey to your audience that you are this character. And I imagine that's going to go into your fighting style and how you would fight opponents, and
Well, like a
crazy
like
weird.
like a cosplayer UFC. That would be
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be wild. Well, well, like, oh man, look at that avatar. I'll fight the Jabbas. Man,
Is this Jabba the coach?
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't remember him ever. I don't remember a recent change because he used to be Jabba the Cuck. Then he went to Jabba the Creator, Jabba the Coach, then Jabba the Creator. So I don't know if he's the same because I don't think I've had Jabba the Coach in any of my streams. Maybe one. So I have no clue. It was pretty funny.
I want to do like a pin-up, and I might still do it, of just the Merry Boys fighting all these like a big pile of cosplayers.
Oh, like one of the, like you mean like one of the popular covers where the heroes are at the top or villains and covers, and then everyone else is like beaten down and messed up and passed out. And
Dave Sim did that. He did like a similar one where Cerebus is standing on a pile of all these popular characters. And I think in Judge Dredd too, there was a cover where it's him driving his bike, and piled up alongside with just all these superheroes that have been completely mauled and shot to hell.
That would be a print. Or
sorry, I just want to go to the loo quickly. Give me a second. We'll be right back.
All right. I'll read yours, Lorenzo, when he returns. Excuse me. So definitely, let me drop the link for this book. If you haven't backed this book, this is in demand. Definitely back it while you can, while this campaign's still going. You don't want to wait till it's already closed. If you've already backed it, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate your backing awesome campaigns. But also consider backing it again. Back it once, back it twice, back it 3 times a lady. And, you can give extra copies to your family and friends. If you don't have the means to back it at this time, please consider sharing it all over your social media so we can get even more eyeballs on this. Excuse me. Yeah, very cool looking. Let me see. So
there we go.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
just reminding everyone to back this campaign while they still can, while it's in demand. Otherwise, they're going to miss out, and nobody wants to miss out.
No, nobody wants to miss out on this one. No, it's ostensibly a better book. If I have to say so myself. When I finished the first campaign, I just made a list of things that I would improve on, and I've tried to execute that every single thing into this comic. And I'm sure that after this one's done, I'll also have a little list of things that I can improve, on this again. But I mean, there's a constant cycle of trying to do things a bit better. So it's a longer book It's almost twice the length of the previous one. It's 4 different stories, and I worked just on the actual technique. I think the art actually looks a bit better because I've taken care to. I've introduced like different inking techniques, a bunch of different things, but people will see, hopefully. But sometimes it's like this. Sometimes you get really tied up into the detail of something, and then most people don't even notice.
But still, it's there. For those taking another look at it, they'll probably spend more time examining and trying to figure out how you accomplish this technique versus that technique. So in that, it's a pretty special thing that you took the time and made the effort to come up with something special.
Yeah, it's always like this, that, after the fact, there's no artist alive who, goes back to work that they did before and they go like, yeah, that was great. They're always finding fault, always, but you can try and minimize that, or you can at least, you always have to try and do it to the best of your ability at the time, and improve, and always try and improve it the next time around.
Nice. Yeah, that's all you can hope to do. Keep improving upon your previous works.
Yeah.
That's where the growth is.
Yeah. But there's no point doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yep. What's all this then? So another comic about those teenage guzzling Knights Templar stomping the path of righteous salvation through their backwater English town, cleansing it of its many social evils to avoid an impending biblical apocalypse. Watch gangsters, pimps, football hooligans, and other deserving lowlives and weirdos getting savagely tramped by these size 16 Doc Martens in this new 74-page collection of self-contained Mary Boy stories drawn in style, influenced by the likes of Jack Davis, Will Eisner, Wally Wood, and written in an uncompromising and utterly irreverent punk attitude that made the first 2 Mary Boys comics available to buy on this campaign such a huge hit with readers. Nice.
And it is available there as a I've recently added it as a separate tier. Before it was just an add-on, but
all right.
Yeah, people have been quite enthusiastic about buying the old comics too. So yeah,
nice.
Made them more visible.
Yeah, it's important to maintain like catch-up tiers, because some people may not hear about your campaign till months, or in some cases a year or 2 later.
That's it.
If you offer catch-up tiers, then people don't feel like they're left in the dust and they can't get into it.
That's a problem with crowdfunding in general, though. That's why I try not to write things like this is the first book and this is a direct sequel to that, because everything that you write should be a satisfying unit of story,
Mm-hmm.
And if there is something that precedes a particular story, then you should create some sort of blurb, like in the front, like Jim Shooter used to do, or get his writers to do in the previous issue, and then have like a little write up of what it's about, so people can still pick it up. And you should always treat the comic like somebody's first comic book.
Mm-hmm.
That's the idea.
That's a good way to look at it.
But the problem is with crowdfunding, it exasperates the problems. Especially if you're releasing part 1 of this mega epic now, and you might not release the second part like in a year or 2, if at all,
Mm-hmm.
because of the nature of crowdfunding. It's that's the problem.
Yeah, good point. But if you have something good going on, I'm kind of digging what John Malin's doing with Graveyard Shift, and what he seems to be planning to do with Godlike, where you get to like the 3rd issue, and then on the 3rd issue campaign, you make available issues 1 and 2 in a combined graphic novel. So you got like 2 books for the price of 1.
Uh-huh.
And then I guess if you go to the 4th one, I don't know if he's going to combine the first 3 issues into 1 book, or if it's going to be 2 issue, or I mean, if he's going to have 2 issue length books. But the idea is you combine, as you move along in the series, you combine the previous issues into like a culmination book.
Yeah, I want to do something like that myself. Once I get enough pages together, I think what I'll do is I'll release it as a collection. I've already got a name for the collection. It'll be called Full English. But I don't know when that's going to happen. And it has to form something that I think is a cohesive whole. So we'll see.
For sure.
That'll be nice. It'll be nice to do that. When it's going to happen, I've got no idea. If it's going to be like after the next campaign or another 2 campaigns, because it depends on how many more pages the next ones are going to be. I mean, I think the collection should be about 200 odd pages, to make it really worthwhile. And so far, we'll have about 100 and something. So yeah, it's still a while. Still a while to go.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Let's see here. It's drawn nice and free from all that mainstream bollocks, yeah?
Yeah.
Like the book from the previous campaign, the covers and interior pages to this new collection will be traditionally illustrated using real media to ensure that these comics have the classic old school look our readers enjoy. With your help, we continue to deliver Merry Boys directly into the hands of our readers. This way, Merry Boys will be kept unruly, uncouth, unmitigated, unpasteurized, problematic, politically incorrect, soy-free, and wholly independent for the foreseeable future. Nice.
That's the plan. I mean, that's the beauty of crowdfunding. You don't have anybody looking over your shoulder telling you, "Hey,
yes, absolutely."
We don't like that for whatever reason." Because I mean, look, a lot of the time, I'm not saying all publishers, but a lot of indie publishers, it's always up against one person's opinion, as to what's going to sell. But the things with crowdfunding is that you've already got a tried and tested thing that's already got an audience. So obviously it does work. It does. It kind of, the formula works. So you carry on until it stops working, I guess. But there's none of that stuff because I mean my experience with indie publishers hasn't been very good. It's always people trying to the problem is with smaller publishers, they still think that they occupy the space that they did back in the 90s, where there's just no other way of getting your comic book out there. And it just isn't like that anymore. I think, if you're going to be publishing with an indie publisher, then it's a partnership more than anything else. Like, you'll help promote and distribute and all of that. But if you already have something that works, that people want and like and enjoy, then don't mess with it.
Yeah.
And my problem is with people trying to mess with the formula. And I'm like, I don't want you to mess with my formula, thanks.
Exactly.
My formula is rambunctious and it is in your face, and that's what people want right now.
Yes, absolutely. Santa says, "Gotta get going. Have a great day, WyzGyz, Chub and Chat. Great to see you again."
Just to have a great day.
Good to have you. Yeah, take it easy. I love this image because you got the gargoyle statues, one of them sticking its tongue out, and the other 2 are opening their mouths wider and then sticking their tongues out.
Yeah, I love the visual comedy stuff. I mean, that's why I like single panel cartoons. I like too, because a single panel cartoon is awesome because it translates one idea, like one gag, into one panel. I mean, these wraparound covers are both single panel cartoons, So there's a writing element. what I don't like is just having something that's just a hero pose. You know what I mean? When you've just got a pin up of somebody standing like this, or some voluptuous female, which is nothing wrong with the voluptuous female, mind you. Just showing. I mean, that's all right. But I mean, if it's just a hero pose with no narrative behind it, then I find it kind of boring. I wanted to tell me something about the characters. I want it to be a snapshot. I want you to imagine that there was a whole story leading up to this one image, and more things will happen after this image. You know, like you capture the image of something just about to happen, and then your imagination has to fill in the blocks. I mean, that is an art form in itself, and something I really want to try with the single panel cartoons that I've been thinking about.
Cool. Here are some samples of the interiors.
So this is from the first story called The Liturgy, which is basically it's the shortest one out of the collection. It's about it like I tried to, like the first comic I had, it had an element of hearts. You know, there was the Merry Boys had it's always a it's almost like this combination of manic punk attitude, but it's also got a bit of heart to it. And this is the story. This is the heartfelt story. Where they try and do something for the people of the destitute in Basham. And I'm quite proud of that one. And this one, the next one is this is actually from the last story. That's about it's called Dinky Jones is Dead. It's in Basham. It's full of Basham is full of gangsters and lowlives and a lot of social problems. And one of these gangs is a gang of midgets, essentially.
Really?
And the midget, like this midget gangster dies in precarious circumstances, but because the family is Catholic, they want to give him a Catholic burial. And the only Catholic church is Parish's church, and Parish is not having them bury their little gangster in his graveyard, so it causes a whole dispute. This is how it plays out, but it's. I'm quite proud of the story. I just need to ink it, but it's loads of fun. It's just high octane.
Oh man,
it's gonna be great.
Wait, are you saying there's legit a real midget gang?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it would be funny if there was. Yeah, you get gangs along. You typically get gangs along, cultural, religious, and ethical sort of lines. You know, you'll get the Jewish mob, the Italian mafia. You'll get a lot of, like in the UK. Actually, you get a lot of. Well, they tend to be white English gangsters, old school, like Peaky Blinders, you would think, but like modernized. You'll get those are the most prominent gangs that we ever have, and they tend to be families, actual families, not like your Cosa Nostra sort of families where it's family in name only, but it's a gang structure of unrelated people, working for the Don, and you've got your capos. This is, you actually have families of like brothers, uncles, nephews, going into organized crime together. And I just thought it'd be funny if they were all like all had the midget gene.
That's cool. The following items are available as add-ons. Select them from the menu once you choose a main perk.
Yeah. So on the last campaign, I did a patch. That was just the Merry Boys logo, and people really like that. Now, the thing is, Merry Boys it's got this punk ethos and this punk sort of look and feel to it, and patches and embroidery, they're just like a very punk thing. So it's very on brand, for lack of a better term, to do patches. So I thought I definitely need to do a new one for this campaign. So I thought just the beer can in the middle with it's basically the credo from this campaign, lager, 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 stomping that Mark did on the video. I thought that'd be a really good thing for a patch in this case.
Nice. Yeah. I love it. It's an embroidered patch. Does it have that coating on the back side So for if you wanted to do an iron-on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the last one. Yeah,
Cool.
I'm gonna do that. For those who don't have wives to sew it on for them. I'm still trying to get my wife to sew them onto my bloody jacket for me. She hasn't done that.
So what kind of jacket are you going to put your patch on?
I've got this Metalhead battle jacket with loads of patches of my favorite metal bands, and I've put it on. It's been in the the sewing basket for the last year or so, but hasn't been sewed on yet. So I'm actually thinking of just ironing it on myself. But every time I say that, Monica goes, "No, I'll sew it on for you." And I'm like, "It's been years. Where's my
You're gonna watch a YouTube video and take up sewing.
Yeah, no, I'll just iron it on. Damn it. So
companion.
Yeah, so this is almost like the making of, like I did with the previous campaign. It's just going to have like the art, thumbnails, and notes, some photos, and basically like a behind the scenes look of what I was thinking.
Nice. 3 times print set of art prints without logos, each measuring 8.3 by 11.7 inches.
Yep. So it's the 2 wraparound covers without any logos, and the third one is of Father Parish riding a pig.
Yeah, that's hilarious. How does he manage to stay on?
It's talent, pure talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comics from the first Merry Boys campaign, set of 2 comics, 24 pages each. Black and white covers and interiors. When you have a black and white cover, but then you do the spot red, does it significantly jack up the price?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think it does. I don't know if it's much more expensive, but it is now suddenly you've got to do it as a color cover. But you could have a black and white cover that is technically a color cover simply because it'll have those very subtle sort of browns.
Oh, right.
Because I mean, if you look at those covers, they aren't completely desaturated. The one on the right's got a bit warmer. It's got a bit more brown in there than the one on the left, which is a bit more blue.
Yes.
And the actual paper on which it's printed is slightly yellowish. So it is a color cover. It just doesn't have a broad spectrum of colors.
I'm skint, but still want to lend a hand where I can. Oh, is skint another term for broke?
Yeah. I use a lot of British slang, which some people like when I say the whole fag end of the 20th century. It's just like a fag is a cigarette, so it's the end of the cigarette. That's some people still go like, you mean you're making fun of gays? I'm like, no, fun of gays.
Yeah, some people still don't know that it means cigarette.
Yeah, but it's like sorry, but you've like it's Constantine's been saying that since the 90s in Hellblazer, so it's you knew I wasn't that. But
Hellblazer is going to get canceled.
That was before cancel culture, so he got his foot in with the fag end comments before cancel culture, so you can. Mind you, they're going to Photoshop all the cigarettes out of his mouth at some point, like they did with Wolverine, I'm sure. So
yeah, like they do with Wolverine.
So he's just going to be saying fag end without having any cigarettes, and then it's really going to look homosexual, isn't it?
What they'll do is they'll like white out the text and replace fag in with homosexual end.
Yeah, it's crazy what's happening with comics.
Yeah.
It's going absolutely, especially with editorial. Like that one guy recently, he was drawing Asian characters.
Yeah.
And the editorial thought, we're going to improve this.
Yeah, it's like they made him non-Asian looking.
It's like, what the fuck? They made him look. It looked crazy. It looked like they gave them these meth stare eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? You made it. Just leave it alone. You're not party to this. Why are you sticking your aura in? I don't get it.
Yeah. problem with SJWs and cancel culture is, you know, they'll sometimes take the time to search your history, your background for like 10, 15 years worth and try and dig up every single little thing they can.
Yeah, it's all about power, and it's all really pathetic. You know?
Yeah. Boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Damn. Smashed. If we hit 10,000 pounds or 13,700 USD, then every backer will receive this Merry Boys Hood of Arms sticker.
Yep.
No, art not final.
Yeah, everybody's
That's
getting
cool.
that. Everybody's getting that sticker. Yeah. I'll make some slight adjustments I want to make to the art, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's neat. I like it. And the expression on the dog on the right.
Yeah.
He's happy.
Yeah, no, they've got a dog, and he features in 2 of the stories.
So is that an English bulldog?
Yes, British Bulldog. Yeah.
A British bulldog. Yeah. We had one before untimely passing, but she was adorable.
Oh, shame. No, I love those dogs.
Before we got him, you know, before my daughters wanted a dog, and it was an English bulldog, they were like, you know, we really want this one, and up until then, my idea of bulldog was back in the Tom and Jerry cartoons.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember? What's his name? Spike.
Yeah, the gray one.
Yeah, and I always found him ugly, and you know, always slobbering. And I was like, no, we're not getting one of them. And then we got this little pup, and freaking adorable.
Yeah. Well, they do slobber. I mean,
Yeah.
get away from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, we're lucky to get her.
It's about personality. They got great personalities. Those dogs.
Yeah. So the logger tier, what do we have here? Let's check out these perks here.
Yeah, that's all the new stuff that people, you know, if people back the first campaign and they just want all the new stuff that's coming out with this one, then that will get you 2 copies of the book with 1 cover each. You know, the embroidered patch, the BEEFHEADS companion with all the sketches and notes and things in, and the 3 print set.
Yeah. All right. And right now it's 1% off.
You know, it's the weird thing with the campaign. You can't press. It won't let you go to the next page without you showing that there's some discount to. Because I think it's just built into the platform where it assumes that you're about to release this thing onto the market.
Right.
But if you back it now, you get it for a discount. You know, whereas this, you know, I don't have anywhere else to sell. You know, these comics, so it doesn't really work. So you got to put a value in there, and that's why it shows off. But it's just not. It's just literally about. I had to press the button to make the thing go live.
Yeah. I heard from Takume LLC, who hangs out in my chats sometimes, and he's got a lot of background in the industry. And one of the things he mentioned is that, you know, you build in what your retail price is and then what you would consider discounting it to. And then that's something that starts off, I guess, I don't know how the timing works, but I think he said something about it initially starting there to entice people to back immediately, and then it removes the discount somewhere during the campaign. And then if the campaign seems to be sluggish or hasn't seen much activity in a while, then they reactivate the discount or something like that. I don't know the ins and outs, but that is what I'm gathering from it.
There's so many tricks. There's so many tricks to this that I don't know about. You know, I'm still very much a novice with this stuff. I've only recently started using add-ons. You know, I didn't know that you could do that.
I like the add-ons feature. Some people don't. I like add-ons because, well, when I had the money, I wanted to back, you know, a number of things that weren't already covered in the tiers themselves. And so what I'd end up having to do is I'd have to make 2 or 3 purchase passes through the campaign to get all the stuff I wanted. Right?
Yeah.
Let's say you've got the book and a variant cover in one tier, and then you've got a swag pack full of all the extra goodies, trading card, maybe a bookmark, a print, a patch, a button. And so I'd have to do 2 or 3 passes before I could get everything. So that meant making 3 different purchases, making having to pay extra costs for shipping because you're going through separate passes.
Yep.
Whereas with add-ons, it allows me to try and make a customized pack, stick with one tier, get everything else I want all in one pass. I have heard from some creators, though, that say that the add-ons can be kind of a pain or be somewhat annoying because it might complicate it slightly more.
I can't
organize who's got what tier and what to bundle in with what. But I think there's supposed to be something where you export an Excel spreadsheet or something from the campaign and it organizes it for you.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I that's all theoretical for me at this point, because I think what I would probably end up doing is just doing it backup by backup.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before what I did was I just did a whole tier of things at the same, because I know, okay, this entire tier just got the basic book. Then just pack, say if there's 100 basic book tiers, just pack 100 of them and then slap on their addresses. Whereas this time around, it'll probably be backer by backer to make sure every single one is correct.
Yes. Yeah. And, on that point about making sure everything is correct, when you're working with the fulfillment company, they're doing it all at kind of, they're doing it all for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if one of the backers ends up missing something, then they have to go through the fulfillment company, who then has to reach out to you.
I know it's kind of depersonalizing. That's what I've been so loath to, because I've had some people reach out to me and say, "Listen, we can post this out for you in the UK." But then I think to myself, when it is a very personal thing, because there are so many people are paying a premium for this stuff, and when they get in touch with you, they expect it's going to be you that they speak to, because you're the one who got into the channel, you're the one who sold them this bloody thing. You should be the one to sort out the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would expect. When I buy something, I haven't done it yet, but if something goes wrong, I don't want to contact somebody and, hello, this is some third party who does not give a shit about necessarily about the backer, about and trying to sort something out. That it's just kind of removed. And the whole point of crowdfunding is it's supposed to be a very DIY cottage industry sort of thing.
Yeah.
The whole experience is meant to be that. As soon as you start bringing in third parties who add another wall between you and your supporters, that is not a good thing, I think.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Yeah, it's much more efficient and direct to be able to resolve an issue immediately with the backer. They reach out to you saying, "Hey, something is missing," or "This arrived damaged," and then you can take care of it straight away.
Yeah. And like I said, you just need a photo, and then I can claim from the Royal Mail.
Yeah.
So simple enough. Otherwise, I mean, that same scenario, you would have to go back to the fulfillment center, which might be in a different, different country. They would have to do the bureaucracy on that. They might not have enough stock because you will send them an X amount of books, to replace something with.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you'd have to send them more books, like from the an expected amount of damage. I don't know. I just I'm very controlling when it comes to this.
I don't blame you. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Then you got the basic book tier, which is the main wraparound cover. And then we got the cathedral variant, which is another wraparound, right?
Yeah. I just thought I really want to do color covers this time, proper color, and wraparound. Why not? Because otherwise you're wasting all the real estate on the back.
Yeah, true.
I drew these at a massive size too, so
The wait, what's the massive size?
the covers, they're huge. They're absolutely massive. The original art that I did for these. Yeah.
Original page from BEEFHEADS. Ooh. So are there any like double page spreads, or are you also selling the covers?
I've got one double page spread, which I've packed away. Yeah, I don't have it now. But it's like this big montage of them fighting a bunch of football hooligans.
Oh, wow.
But it's on a board. Is that going to be there? I was going to say it's on a board. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to sell that one because it's just going to be really hard to ship it.
Oh.
So I did it on this big piece of artboard because I couldn't find a piece of paper big enough to draw it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
sorry. There's a delay. Sorry. No, you carry on. I've really,
like when they do double page spreads, like what I gather a lot of the traditional comic book artists do, they take these 11 by 17, I guess, Bristol board pages, and they're often already outlined. And then to make a double page spread, oh wait, hold on. That might be for a splash page. If you do a splash page, I think you have to cut out the two inside lines, like a 1/4 inch off each of the insides for them to fit together. I don't know if you leave it all intact if you're doing a wraparound, because you need that extra material to cover the spine area. But it's effectively two 11 by 17 pages, and then it's like masking taped together in the back side.
Yeah.
So it can fold in half. So yours is on like you said it's an art board. Is that thicker than? All right, definitely thicker than Bristol board, right?
Oh yes, it's like a proper board. It's I've got a piece set.
Is that like what they use for those, like when artists take art class in college and stuff? They're asked to buy them. Yeah, all right. Cool. That is big.
Yeah, this is cut down to size. The other one's a bit bigger than this. Quite a bit bigger. I just had a big scene that I wanted to draw with lots of action, lots of stuff going on, and I thought I just need a bigger piece of paper. But I couldn't, and I could have split it. I guess I could have done it across two pieces of paper. But the problem is that if you do your ink washes, they kind of collect in the grooves.
Oh yeah.
So I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. It's just going to look uneven. It's just easier if we do it like this. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense. So let's see. Original page from BEEFHEADS. Nice. Yeah, people love original art. and this is a great community to get original art from while everyone's growing their IPs and releasing new stuff, and just
Who knows? I'm still waiting for the first CG book to get like to get opted for a movie. I'd love to see that.
that would be fun.
That'd be amazing.
You just have to find someone willing to take on the property and be willing to take the potential backlash from SJW. We're going to try and cancel it.
But what the thing is also is that it's kind of a good thing, if you know what I'm saying. It's like Dave Chappelle now. He got so much heat through all this because of I don't even know because I don't watch Netflix, but apparently from some stand-up that he did. But it didn't damage his career at all. In fact, he's got from what I can tell, he's got more work coming from Netflix now. It's raised his profile because of the attention. Because people know it's nonsense. It's not as if these are crimes.
Right.
It's not as if any of this is wrong. It's because of a very small select group of people who are making a huge noise around it and draws attention. But 99.9% of people don't see anything wrong with humor. It just is,
Yeah, exactly.
The ones who don't like it just won't watch it. It's just one of those things. But I think it's the same thing for CG for the comic books, especially for ours, because it is very in touch with how things are going now. I mean, if you had to do something specifically that had a bit of this countercultural stuff going on right now, I think it would actually be really good for a movie, because these people would advertise your movie for you.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's a good point.
Because there's so many people who go like, I hate this because of X, and then everybody who happens to hear them goes like, if you hate it, it must be wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta see this now. I will support it. I don't care what it's like. I will support it. I will watch it. I will buy everything just to spite you.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean that's why for most of my life I got to a point at which I stopped believing movie reviewers.
Yeah.
Because it was like everything that they didn't like was stuff that I liked, and everything I didn't like was stuff that they gravitated towards.
It was like I remember when I was a kid and The Crow came out.
Uh-huh. Oh,
I
that's a good movie.
loved that movie so much. And then the most popular movie reviewer got into. He did a review panning of the movie so badly, and I thought to myself, "Wow, I will not listen to you again," because obviously I love that movie. You're just another person with your own tastes. Fair enough. But you don't. That doesn't. It just means that your taste doesn't align with mine. It's a great movie. Period. It just is, and nothing you tell me can change my mind.
There you have it. Everybody, if you haven't yet backed Merry Boys Beefheads, definitely consider backing today. It's in demand. Do you know how much longer this will be left in demand?
It'll be at least until we fulfill. Because last time what happened was it got another boost while people were seeing things are being shipped out.
Yes.
A lot of people are afraid that, hell, is this going to be another Critias comic? Is this going to be another one where the creator disappears with the money and never produces?
Right.
So what they want is a lot of people want to see, okay, the book is going out and it's not a pile of crap.
Right.
So I think we got a big boost from people saying it's coming out, and people are going online saying, "Hey, we really like this comic book," and we had a lot of that. That was massively beneficial for us. So, it makes sense to keep it in demand until after fulfillment.
For sure. And it looks like you were. Let's see. You're targeted for July 2022.
Yeah. We'll see if we hit that. I hope we do. But we're still theoretically on track. So
right on.
Keep pushing.
Right on. Yeah. So if you haven't already, definitely back this book, Merry Boys Beefheads, because the boys are back.
Boys are back.
You, if you've already backed it, greatly appreciate your support. Consider backing again, though. You know, we've got all these holidays coming up. St. Patrick's Day, Easter, you know, Christmas, birthday parties. All of your friends and family are going to want a copy of Merry Boys Beefhead. So why not back it today? And then you've got back it once, back it twice, back it 3 times a lady.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking like one day it'll be nice to have like cheap copies, but like something that's distributed on like one day I'll crack that distribution code where it's, you know, ideally it would be great to have thousands and thousands of copies of this comic and people just picking it up for, you know, for cheap, you know, on like a smaller format, you know, with the usual sort of printing standards. That would be great in a way. And but that's just the way things are now, I'm afraid.
There's you know, some creators are working with companies like IndieVault and Alterna Comics and releasing versions of their books where you get distribution, you know, to like local comic shops or through, well, in the case of Alterna, I think everything is literally straight from Alterna.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like not traditional newsprint, but it's like a newer version in newsprint or something, but it's still pretty cool quality. And and each book is like $1.50, $2 USD. So I mean, like you could take your existing campaign, fulfill it, and then if you're like, for example, Beefheads is a culmination of 4 stories. You can split that off into 4 separate floppies.
Yeah.
For example, and then they'll be lower priced. And it'll be like, yeah, that's one method. If I remember correctly, I think IndieVault works with creators to release, you know, the premium version of their project that's on Indiegogo, and gets local comic shops interested, and like offers a catalog of saying, all right, here's what we got in the catalog. Let us know which ones you want to order. We'll get those delivered to your shops for you to, you know, see how they sell.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's more and more of that coming up in CG. And to try and broaden the audience, draw more people in, get people interested in what we have to offer. So,
yeah, it's all about that. It's all about, you know, just trying to find the next thing to get more eyes on your work, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might be something to consider down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if anyone, if at this time you don't have the ability to back it today, please consider sharing it all over social media so we can get the word out, get more people backing this definitely worthy project. You heard the reviews from the first couple of books, and they were all good. I don't know if you saw, but you just crossed 19,000 recently.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't notice that. Awesome.
You're 259 backers. So sweet. Congrats on that.
Nice one. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah. Let's catch the trailer once more, and then we'll close things up.
Let's zap it.
Oops. Uh-oh. I muted it.
Go.
There we go.
Here we go. Never far from a bloodstained paddle. Heading to the bar with my brothers holding hip to battle. I smell sinners and I swear I'm running out of cheeks. Father, forgive me, but my tolerance is getting weak. Should I flatten them out or should I take a shot? Bottoms up before I pile up some body parts. The devil's in the bottle, so I guzzle from a glass. With every sip, I feel like taking out the city's trash. A fit job for a quad around and dumpster babies. We cheat to death, it's only fair that we replenish Hades. But we can pray and repent and let God sort them. I'd rather make a profess and go to war on them. Verse 2, the perfect set for the proper sequel. It's proper PC comics, Mary boys, there is no equal. Despite our mother's worst intentions, yeah, we walk the valley and cast a shadow with death, the wickedness surrounding. Just want to go to the tavern and pound a couple lagers. But now I'm to
I've watched it a million times, but I still love it.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I found myself repeating myself. Is it possible to normally say lager quickly?
It is difficult. It was Mark went with it. I just said when I wanted, like I told him what I like is that song "Born Slippy" from Trainspotting. Remember that like that lager shout in, you know, that song Underground from Born Slippy. Yes.
I'm not familiar with that song.
Yeah. So he so I was thinking something like slower like that, but he brought that whole fast lager, you know, but he surprised me pleasantly. I thought, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's hip hop, but it's got a bit of a punk edge to it.
Sweet. Diller, welcome. You're being silly. The wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things. The tops are made out of rubber. The bottoms are made out of springs.
Tigger warning.
Yeah, don't be Tiggers. Oh, man. So cool. You know what? I'm going to give you the floor, man. Would you share with the world how you can be found on social media?
Yes, on social media. Let's see. If you're on Twitter, I'm MaryBoys1. That's MaryBoys and the number 1. That's quite simple. You can follow me there. The YouTube is just, we're just called Proper Comics. But I don't have a massive YouTube presence. And on Facebook, there is a page for Mary Boys there. So if you want to come and like that, it's been quite popular somehow. I think we've almost got 1,000 likes on Facebook. But yeah, Facebook isn't the best place to promote stuff. So it's mostly Twitter. Twitter's got links to everything from there. So give us a follow, and I'll follow back typically. Oh,
nice. Do you do any actual advertising on Facebook?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like when you get paid advertising, I found that it doesn't really, like I've spoken to people who've done it and it doesn't really work.
That's what I hear.
It's not worth it. What I do, we share to a lot of groups on Facebook, and that gives you that gives you some views. But Facebook is a lost cause as far as I'm concerned. The algorithm is very, 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 very creator unfriendly, and so is Instagram is also a complete waste of time. That's just my opinion. I'm sure there might be people who've made it work for them, but it's not. I found that it's inconsequential for us.
I think Facebook is definitely a dying platform. Instagram's getting there. I think it's got a little more life, in him, because it is. I still see comic creators and people in the creative community, like cosplayers and whatnot, still using it, and I think to an extent, cosplayers and comics go hand in hand.
Oh yeah, of course. There's what would they cosplay?
Yeah. Yeah. You know what I think would be neat down the road?
Yeah.
is a variant cover of a group cosplay of Merry Boys. And have that as a cover, because every now and then you'd come across a comic that actually had a cosplayer on the cover, and they're neat, they're different.
Depends on how you do it, and then you'll have to find. I mean, like in my case, I'd love to do that, but you do it like it'll be like a Photoshop one. But the act, call them actors, the models, or the model would be like it'll be a kid that suffers from ectoplasmic dysplasia. Same as they've got with a cleft lip, no hair. That would make sense. I think.
Sweet.
So it'll be about approaching modeling agencies, I guess, because you'd have to find the right person for it. But,
for sure.
Don Chin did what I really liked was he did a cover of the hamsters, which was just clay figures. And I thought that was really thinking outside the box. I really loved that.
Yeah.
Like almost like a claymation. Well, no animation, but it was a nice little montage of the hamsters built out of clay.
That's a good idea. Are there any things about the campaign that you wanted to highlight that I might have missed?
No, we've been quite thorough. I think the only thing was like the old comics are still there, on their own tier for anybody who still wants to just because it is cheaper getting the old comics than getting the new ones, and people might want to just see what it's about before committing more money to it. And the old comics we ship out immediately. So as soon as you back them, we just post them out. So no waiting on that. Almost no waiting. You have to wait for the postman. That's yeah. So no, that's all. That's how
when it comes to fulfillment, like in the States here, a lot of people are using stamps.com. Do you have something similar, or do you use stamps.com out there in the UK?
No, we just buy the postage directly from we buy it online and we print it off. So it prints off your whole customs form, the address, and your code, it's not a barcode, it's a CQR code or something for the for the actual postage. So you get all in one sheet, you peel it off, stick it on the envelope, and you're done. And you just drop it off at the post office.
Oh wow, that's neat. Is it also handled through stamps.com or a different company?
No, well, because it's Royal Mail. It just
it's through Royal Mail. All right, gotcha. That's pretty sweet. All right, cool deal. As usual, you can find me at my usual haunts at WyzGyz Tweets on Twitter, WyzGyz Entertainment on Twitch, and WyzGyz Entertainment on YouTube. Make sure you, if you're doing a search for WyzGyz as one word, WyzGyz. Please like, comment, subscribe, mark the bell for notifications, mark all notifications, so hopefully you receive every word whenever there's a new video or stream. And want to thank everyone in chat for joining us today. You guys are freaking awesome.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for keeping us company.
Yep, indeed. Always appreciate you guys. Thank you to everyone who watches this on replay. And thanks most especially to our very special guest, Karl Stephan. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
And we shall see you on the next stream. Take it easy, y'all. Bye.
Bye. Cheers.
Final guest that is the only person below White Holiday in the ComicsGate phone book. It's my favorite failed clone of Peter Sammetti. The YouTube sensation. WyzGyz. How you doing? Welcome to the show.